Hey everybody, welcome to my Suburban Oasis. My name's Soleil and I garden in a Zone 6A in mid-Michigan. And today it's a beautiful sunshiny day outside, so I thought I would take you around on a tour to look at what the garden looks like at the end of February. And we have some snow, not a lot. It's starting to melt today and we'll see. I'm sure we're going to get plenty more between now and April. But there's some things I'd like to get done in the garden, so I thought we'd talk a little bit about that as I go through the garden, some of the things that I can be getting done between now and when it gets warmer. All right, let's take a look. So here in the potager, I don't have a lot of work to do. There might be a little bit of cleanup, but I do still need to get after some of my hydrangeas. That's definitely on the to-do list before spring comes. I like to do my trims of them before the new green buds start coming out on the leaves. Now in this part of the potager right here, I did plant some snapdragons at the end of the year and the rabbits have definitely been eating them, so I would like to come through and either clean those up or pull them out completely. And this is a columbine, so that will need to have its dead foliage cleaned up as well. Now something else that I need to work on trimming back is the lavender. So right now this lavender bush is looking a bit gangly and I would like to trim that back as well before some of the new growth sets. This year I'm definitely watching this fig, so it kind of looks a little bit more like a bush than a tree, but that's how it's been growing, and so I want to watch it and see how much of it actually comes back this year. The last couple of years it has died down completely to the ground, so I don't want to cut back until I start seeing new growth on that one. So that one's one I'm going to hold off on. You can see the Virginia look nice and colorful, especially in the sunshine today. And we have lots of little perks of green coming up, both irises and daffodils. It's so nice to see, even though I know that spring is still a bit away here in Michigan. In this garden also, I would like to clean up the little lime hydrangeas in the back there. I need to get those trimmed, as well as the pinky winky. And then I'll also come through and cut back these beautyberry bushes, or I'm sorry, these are coralberry bushes, and I need to cut them back to about 12 inches. Now I talked about the possibility of replacing these this year in one of my recent videos, but I definitely need to prepare them for spring either way, because I don't have whatever it is that I am going to replace them with, and that's just something that I'll be keeping my eye out for. I haven't still decided, but I appreciate everybody's ideas about what you thought might look good there. Now I do wait for the roses to start to put on some new growth before I clip them back, so it's definitely too early for them. But the Tian Shan 7 sunflower shrubs that we have here that I'm forming into trees, like multi-trunked tree forms, are at the stage where I could do some cutting back. So what I'll do is I'll come through and take out some of these limbs that are sticking out to the sides a little bit more, just to help keep it growing a little bit more upright and make sure I have that nice structure that I need so that it can grow into about a 12-foot tall small tree. And it should be really, really beautiful. Every year that one grows quite a bit more, and I've really enjoyed it so far. It's great for pollinators. They really love it in the fall. I definitely will be coming through and trimming my smooth hydrangeas as well that we have throughout the garden. And I have to get after some more of the hellebore leaves that are in the back garden here, because I haven't trimmed those back. But you can see that these are also holding on to buds. And so I can't wait to see these bloom. These are the penny pink one. They're like my favorite, I think. At least for now. Do any of you go through stages and phases where certain things in your garden are your favorite, and then a couple years later, or even every year, it changes just because things start to look different? Yes, we do have to clean up the hawthorn tree, but that's not happening yet. Just haven't gotten around to it too much. stuff to take care of inside and out sometimes. Here's another beautiful hellebore that's just waiting to put its blooms out. And you can see the pretty blooms on this witch hazel are looking beautiful. And this one I'm just letting grow a little bit more. This one will be a small tree form as well, probably about 12 to 15 feet tall, hopefully. So don't have to do anything in that garden bed. This Pinky Winky definitely needs to be trimmed back, but it has withstood the winter very, very well, and you can see why I like to leave it up, because it does provide a nice interest that otherwise would be missing in this part of the garden. You can hear the bird song right now. They're very happy that the sunshine is out. And I will take you actually in the way back as well today. We'll go back there real quick, just so you can see the witch hazels that are back there and kind of what it looks like right now. I do need to come through and clean up these astilbes, but I left up the seed heads because I thought they looked so pretty, and they really have lasted quite well throughout the winter. So I'll probably do that again next year. Some more hellebores in this garden bed that need to be cleaned up as well. And I did come through though and get these macrophylla hydrangeas trimmed. So all I did was cut off the old kind of weathered blooms, because you don't want to cut them back. You want to make sure you keep these buds that they have on them so that they can just continue to push out blooms. But they look a lot cleaner and nicer without having all of that other kind of dead flower on it. These pieris are looking really pretty. There's nothing I need to do with these at all this time of year. I have a few small blooms left on this hydrangea that need to be cleaned off, but I also need to give it a cut back. Probably we'll get to that sometime in March. That's usually when I like to do that. And I might have to trim a few small branches on this espalier apple tree here as well. I just think these pieris look so pretty this time of year. Now, I did get some rabbit damage back here, some pretty severe rabbit damage. You can see these little stubs, and that is actually, well, let me show you. It's actually this plant, and I'm blanking on the name right now, but it's like a winter creeper, euonymus, and it's variegated, and they came through and got a couple of them. So they got 2 of them and just chowed down on them right down to the ground. So hopefully they'll come back. They also got this one right here, which is the Mount Airy Fothergilla. I was shocked that they ate that. About a foot up. They took the nice tender top parts. Here in the way back, there's not a ton to see. One of the things that I did find though is that I think that as the contractors put this fence up along the back and they had to move these pavers back, I think I lost some of the baby hellebores that I planted along this path. So I don't know, hopefully we'll have some more baby hellebores this year that I can plant back here. But overall, we have some hellebore foliage definitely that needs to be cleaned up back here. Some there. And some over here, but there's definitely buds that are coming up, so we'll see some flowers back here this year, and it will be fun to see how some of these, this is sandy claw, this is a epimedium, so it'll be fun to see how those bloom this year. Usually those are fairly late winter, early spring bloomer. But usually you need to clip back the foliage on them this time of year. But most of the foliage on them had died back for me. So not a lot going on back here. I have some fern foliage to clean up. But other than that, this area is just going to be a spot to watch for some beautiful spring bulbs. I did plant some daffodils back here as well as some snowdrops. So hopefully we'll start seeing those in the coming months as well. All right, well, along the long border here, I did start clipping some of my hydrangeas. So this is a limelight hydrangea. I clipped that one back. And I also got this diamond rouge hydrangea clipped back. So those are all set. And I just have to come through. I have a firelight right here that needs to be trimmed. I'll probably come through and get this sedum cut back as well. But the butterfly bush right here, I will wait on to see what that looks like. It's amazing to me, some of the beautiful green, silvery blue foliage is still looking rather good on some parts of this plant. Isn't that amazing? Again, with the roses, I'm going to be waiting to clip those back sometime yet. We'll definitely probably have like a hydrangea pruning day when I come out and take care of a lot of them. Some of them I have gotten after already. This strawberry sundae I did a pretty good job on so far, but I do need to clip a few more off of it. I'm usually pretty, I don't know if aggressive is the right word, maybe assertive with my pruning on my hydrangeas to make sure that they're trimmed back really well. Get rid of any of the small branches. Make sure we can get some nice big blooms every year. Now this hydrangea I have not pruned back yet. This is a macrophylla. So in this one though, all I will do is take off the little blooms that are spent at the ends of each of those branches. Overall, I'm really loving the way that the fence looks in the garden. Many of you have commented on that, and I say thank you. We have our smooth hydrangeas back over here that are going to have to be trimmed back, and those will be cut back by about 1/3. And I think that I did a pretty good job so far on this berry white hydrangea. It's got some pretty nice thick stems. There may be a few crossing branches that I need to get after as well there. All right, let's take a look at the front. So I have some grasses that are kind of piled up over here from the neighbors. They just kind of blow over, so I'll need to clean those up as well as get after these ferns. And they definitely are looking a lot worse for the wear, so those can go at any time. Super happy with and enjoying the garden bed out here after we got it cleaned up this last week. It looks so much better, and just a lot more enjoyable to look at and be able to see some of the things that look good without having to see the things that are looking sad. Not much to do out here though in terms of clipping. Again, I'll wait on these roses that are out here as well. I'm debating a little bit about whether or not to keep some of the ornamental grasses that I have that are larger ones. Like for instance, I have the ones that we planted this last fall here. I really like them, but I also don't like having to take them out when they get old, and I don't like having to weed between them if they get like that creeping grass between them. So I'm debating about actually taking those completely out of the garden. We'll see. Lots of people out for walks today and enjoying the sunshine. This garden bed looks pretty with the sun on it right now. But I do need to come through and do some cleanup in here. I've got some salvia and some different things that just need to be tidied up. Overall, I feel like I've gotten quite a bit done considering that it's the end of February. We have some veronicas here that should be clipped back a little further. Some geranium, cranesbill geranium type that has weathered down, as well as the old fern foliage. Got most of it, but not all of it. We got lots of daffodils that are going to be poking up in this garden bed too. Should have a pretty good spring show this year. But on this end, I also need to clean up the veronica over here. I got the mums, came through and took care of those, but these veronicas that are up front definitely need to be trimmed all the way back down to the ground. And then the irises also need to be cleaned up. Now I'm going to do some pruning on this small maple tree that's over here. This one's going to get to be quite a large maple tree over time, but I want to start limbing it up, so I'll probably take some of the branches that are near the bottom off this year. I want to keep most of them and just slowly but surely be limbing it up over time. Thankfully, this fothergilla that is out front here did not get eaten, and I can actually see its little buds on it. But it is still winter time, so it's possible that it will still get eaten. And then I definitely do need to trim these limelight hydrangeas, and I'll get after some of the smaller ones and just leave, you know, those real thick stems for them over time. And I have this low growth sumac right here that is really pretty, but I want to make it more dense, so I'm gonna clip that back pretty hard. I've got two of them right in here, and I'm hoping that will make it a little bit bushier, a little bit. You can see some daffodils poking up through the ground over here. I do need to clean up the mums that are in this backside garden bed. And I think with the hypericum, I don't think I have to cut it back, but I'm not sure. I'm going to have to look that one up. So anytime you're not sure about something, just, you know, Google is your friend. And there's a lot of information out there that you can read about. And then I also need to clean up the dead iris foliage in this garden bed. And you can see our Verbena bonariensis over here is just a bit sad and worse for the wear, so that needs to be cleaned up. And then we'll find out this year if the rosemary has wintered over with this nice little cover up here that's helping to protect it by at least one zone. So I think it'll do all right. It did well last year. So I'm loving the way that the fence casts shadows. It makes really pretty shadows on the ground and across some of the different parts of the garden. So that's a really nice bonus because of the way that the slats are in the fence, and I'm really enjoying that. Here's some more grass that I need to cut back. This is just looking like hay thrown on the ground at this point, but I've been waiting for snow to melt and that kind of thing, so that'll probably be a little while longer before I get to it. I also need to give this elderberry a trim. This is a black lace elderberry, and it's just kind of growing a bit wonky. But I see that it's got some buds on it, and I can see that it's starting to, you know, push new growth a little bit. But hopefully it'll hold off, and I can get in there and do some trimming. I'll probably wait till after it blooms because this is a spring bloomer. Well guys, that's the tour. Those are the things I need to get working on. It will be probably over a period of time that we work on all of those different projects because it's quite a bit to tackle if you tackle it all at once. So I take it nice and slow and do one project at a time. Thanks for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this video and Walkabout, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye!